Hello everybody, it's Miriam here at Paperwheelz. It has been a week or so since I didn't post any videos last week because I was gone out of town, and I did a little bit of thrifting while I was gone in northern Ohio near the Amish country, so I thought I would show you what kinds of things I picked up there. Found some really cool books and just some different kinds of things here, so I think I'm going to start with these two just to get them out of my way. They had, well, oh, that was just a pack of wipes that hit the floor. They had these 3x5 cards. They are not white. I have an ivory card here just so you can kind of see they're not the same shade by any means. I was looking for something pure white here on my desk, and I do have an envelope over here. Let me grab it. This is the pure white, so you can see it's kind of almost like a little bit of a straw color. I've never seen anything like this color, and when you look at it closer, you can, I don't know if you can see them, there's like little dots in the index cards. I have no clue how many's in here, but it certainly was cheaper than buying a smaller pack on Amazon that are colored, and these will make nice, they are thicker than, trying to pull one out and it doesn't want to come out, so maybe I need to loosen it. I just hate to loosen it and then them all go everywhere, but we'll give it a shot here. I had a whole table full of cardstock kinds of things, larger papers and different colors, and I'm not really, yeah, my books are falling on my lap, but that's okay. Anyway, these are on the thicker side. It's even thicker than the ivory ones I got from Amazon, so there's no way to know what GSM they are or how many pounds the paper or all that kind of stuff. So I have a very large abundance of cards to use for tickets and tags now, and I love them. So now that I split it off there, I better just leave it there or they're going to be all over the floor before I'm done. Okay. I also found simply one stamp. It's hiding up here under these other cards. It's a leaf stamp from Stamping Up. It was just in a place where there were a bunch of wooden stamps, and this was the one that I found that I liked. The rest of them had sayings that I probably already have stamps of, so I got that. And I picked up these ivory colored cards up here. See these? These are super thick cards. I don't think I have any that thick. That's why I got them. And I think they would make great journal cards, fatter tags, even journal pages if I wanted to use them to make pages. So, since it's piling down into my lap, let me show you some of these books. This one is just super cool, guys. Making tin can toys. It's kind of already falling apart, which was part of the reason I got it, because it's still a very nice vintage book cover. And you've got all these pages in here. It was published in 1919. So it is an older book, but it talks about different things to make tin can toys, or there's even some tools and all kinds of different things here. Reconstructive Aid, director of the Red Cross Workshop, wrote a letter to the author by a former pupil. So we've got that. We've got pictures, some vintage looking pictures from way back. And look how these pages are just yellowed in this. Isn't that just the coolest thing? So it's got soldering, making a biscuit cutter from a can, trays, cookie cutters. So it's not just a lot of tools and appliances, and it's not just toys. It's got all kinds of goodies with pictures throughout, drawings, yellowed vintage pages. I just love it. Can't wait to start using some of those in my projects. So let me lay that aside and grab my next book. Of course, it went to the floor because I have a chair beside me and I just couldn't put it on the chair. Snuck a drink while I was at it there. Okay, next I have this Reader's Digest book that we found. It is packed full of animal images that can be used in just all different kinds. There's pine cones and the mystery test, whatever that is, and just various drawings and pictures and nature-y kinds of things, which is just absolutely amazing. There's a, I keep flipping to that full page picture. Here's another one. So they're just beautiful. I don't know how they get such detailed pictures. Has to be the types of cameras they use. And they probably go sit in nature for quite some time before they get the exact right picture. But this is just full of different kinds of pictures, which would be really cool to make things out of, and just all kinds of things. So it's a little bit larger book. I also picked up, as you can see here on the top, I gotta move back a little bit, y'all, to put this on my chair. However, I did pick up some vintage doilies and handkerchiefs. I forgot and put those away, so I will show you those probably in a future video when I go to use one of them. This is mostly my papers and books that I gathered while we were gone. I guess it's easier to just lay them down on the floor than a chair, honestly. I'm not sure what's going on to make that happen, but that's where I'm at today, you know? Alright, so I picked up a couple 2025 Ohio Amish country maps. I thought the maps would look... Man, I got stuff falling everywhere, you guys. Sorry about this. But I have avalanches around my desk. And there's just things just keep wanting to go. Here we go. Alright, that's better. So I got a couple Amish country maps. They were free. I like the horses and buggies on them. And I also like the advertisements and maps inside. So that's mainly why I picked those up. Then I picked up some farm stickers for my granddaughter, which not too exciting. And then in one of the thrift stores, they had this little notebook, Cargill Real Yield. It talks about how to raise your corn and vegetables properly. There's no date on this, but it also it gives a lot of statistics on 1974 planting. So there you go, it's from the 70s. And it's got just a lot of planting kinds of information, and I believe, yeah, there's where you can write notes down about your planting and things. So it's got a 73, 74, 75 calendar. I'm guessing they put these out in 74. And I just thought it was really cool. So I picked one up because I didn't have anything like that. I like to make small journals, so those pages would look really cool in a small journal. And then we found a first reader from the Wheeler's Graded Readers, W.H. Wheeler and Company. And it is a very first reader. Isn't that bird picture, isn't that beautiful? And it is from 1901. So it's got, I mean, the pages are very fragile, but it's got some pictures in here and some larger print since it is a first reader. And the cover is actually reinforcing that it's not in that bad a shape for a 1901 book. So pick that book up. And then they had some tracing paper, package of that in one of the vintage markets that we went in. And it's just a whole bunch of sewing tracing paper. So I thought this kind of tracing paper is not easy to find. It looks vintage like this. So I thought maybe I can somehow use this, maybe run it through an embosser, see if that would help trace some different images on things. I just thought it might be fun to play with, honestly. And it looks very old and discolored, which I love. Then we have here, they had Amish Country magazine. Again, there's some maps in here. This is not vintage. However, it talks about, I mean, there's a cool looking train there, and it has different ads and pictures, and so there's just all kinds of goodies that could be used in here. Anyway, trying to find, there's a map and some, oh, so see, here's some pretty pictures in here as well. Covered bridge over water, you know, and there's an Amish farmer with his manual tractor there and his horses. So there's all kinds of little pictures like that throughout this magazine. And I found this book that I thought might just be fun to get since I'm going to be 60 this year. And I thought it might have some interesting facts from 60 years ago in it. Oh look, there's Y2K and a picture, not that it matters, I'm not very big on politics, but there's a picture of our previous President Clinton. So it's back, you know, from quite a few years ago, and just has some factual things about different stuff, and I just thought it'd be really, really cool. It's one of those gift books, fun facts when you're turning 60, and I might just take this, I love this cover, and turn it into a journal for later in the year, after my birthday or on my birthday, who knows. And then I found in a vintage bookstore, I found a world atlas. We didn't have, I say we because I share my craft room with friends of mine, we didn't have any map pages, and I like this one in particular because it doesn't, I mean, it's a matte finish, not a shiny, glossy type finish on here, so it looks really super, super cool when you're using these pages to make something with. And it's got oodles of index and maps and just quite a few of world maps of different countries. Switzerland, I'm sure there's maps of every country in here. Scotland, Switzerland, France. It's got it all. So I thought, can't beat it for a couple bucks because that's all it was. And then lastly, I think it's just a couple more of my Ohio Amish different magazines that they had. One of the sewing stores we went into had buttons. So we picked out some unique buttons. I looked for ones that could kind of be used in closures. I found these little flower buckles. I just got one of them, but I thought, oh, wouldn't that look so pretty on the front of a spring journal or just a journal that fits the colors. And then we found a bunch of, they had big old plastic square bin-like things that like stores have, full of buttons, and you could just take your hand and rake through the buttons and find buttons in there. So we looked for ones that could potentially be used for some kind of closures, which is why we got mostly shank buttons. A few, there's a wooden one, and this one I happened to drop and ran over in my wheelchair, but I conveniently took the back off, so it will make a very nice decoration on the front of a journal. So that's what we got. And I think that's everything except for the doilies that we picked up. And I did pick up several doilies and vintage handkerchiefs. Give me a minute. I think I can, they're within reach for me. So if they are, I'm going to pull those out and quickly show you instead of waiting to another video. If they're, yes, they are within reach. So let me grab these here and I'll show you what I found, because we found some pretty cool things. I think, yeah, this is all the stuff. I believe, yeah, this is it. Okay, I found this beautiful lace doily. It looks like it could be even a lace placemat. And I believe someone has sewn these edges on at the top and bottom. And I'm not sure how else they put this together, but I thought it would look so pretty with something under it for a journal cover. So when I make a bigger journal, there's that. And then I found these beautiful napkins that have some pretty, I don't know if you call that embroidery or what you call that along the edges, but it just is beautiful. This is just a simple napkin here, and I like that it had this see-through panel on here, which is why I picked this one out. I just thought it would be really cool. It's actually, I believe, like a table runner. Yeah, I think it is. I don't know. It's quite large. Either that or it's a very large hanky. Not sure which. Lay that to the side. And then I found this one that I just love, this little crochet design in the middle of it. And just a plain one with a little bit of embroidery. Found this hanky in a women's / fabric shop. It's brighter for me, but I really like those colors, so I went ahead and got that. Then I got a doily, a smaller one that will look nice on a journal. And I missed a couple here, y'all. Let me see. I think, yeah, I believe, oh yes, this is the others I got. This is a lace collar that probably was on someone's clothes at one point that was saved, but it's got beautiful, delicate crochet. I believe it's crocheted stitching. It looks real close. I do some crochet and it looks very close to crochet. And then there is this doily. It's very pretty. And this square guy that I thought might also work to put on a journal, even folding it in half some way. But there you go, folks. That's what I got when I was out and about last week. I hope you enjoyed my video, enjoyed looking at my thrift finds. And if you are near Ohio and get a chance to visit northern it's not extremely north in Ohio, it's kind of mid-state. But look up the area if you are coming to Ohio, Berlin, Ohio, Mount Hope, Millersburg. They have some really good thrift and vintage type things in the stores, since it's so heavily populated with the Amish. Oh yes, and then I don't know if I showed you this one. It is definitely crochet, but isn't it just so delicate? And look at that stitching. I mean, you'd have to crochet this with a very, very tiny hook to get that to come out in that way, but it's just gorgeous. Okay, so anyway, I hope you all enjoy. If you are not subscribed to my channel, please do so. We're trying to get me up to 1,000 before October, so anything you can do to help, sharing, subscribing. I welcome my new subscribers. We are up to over 230 now, which is pretty good, I think, for a channel just starting out. So you all be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye for now. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Hey, Sharon? Would you come and hit my thingy? And I pulled these doilies out, so I'll get them back in there.